We need to know if we have moved from prototype on the African continent because some of the innovations are still within the domain of your institution. For those of us who are using solar, there are conversations now that you need to move from tubular batteries to lithium because they feel like lithium has longer shelf life and lithium is expensive. I have tubular batteries at home. Have we moved from prototype to core? I don't know the word right now. Have we started implementing some of the prototype we see in your institution, case study in Cameroon, and how can we upscale that? That would be what I would like to know, and then move to the audience. 5 quick persons. I have 1 on the repertoire table. There's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5. So we'll do 6. We're done. 1, 2. Okay, 2, 3. There's 1 here. 4, 5, 6. If we have 6 on this table, so both of you can combine your question as 1. So 1, 2, please. Your name, country. You just have 1 minute for each question. So we'll do 6 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much, Lucky and Prof, for your presentation. My question is with regards to that we have seen that Africa is actually moving towards solar energy and is the next best possible solution. But my question is with regards to the issues of storage, because there has been discussions that have been happening that lithium batteries, they have a low lifespan, a very small lifespan. So what are the possible innovations that are being done to make sure that we have alternative storages so that we can be able to upscale our projects? So that's my question.
Okay, thank you, Prosper. Magdalene, 1 minute.
Thank you. My name is Magdalene. I'm from Nigeria. Thank you, Prof. I like your conclusion on the multinationals, the multinational companies who continue to extract while they are telling us to transit. So I am from a community in Niger Delta where oil is being produced. And I would say that the oil in the Niger Delta, it is not being extracted by the people. It is not benefiting the people. We do not have electricity. Likewise, this oil, we are not consuming electricity. And that's to say that we contribute least. And when it comes to transitioning to renewable energy, we are the one to bear the burden of transition. When the Russian-Ukraine war started, the international companies, the multinationals, decided when they had agreed that they are going to move away, they even still come back to extracting the resources. Which brings me to say that the problem, it is not, for me, for example, it is not our oil or the fossil fuels, because it is them. They are the one extracting, they are the one using it, and they are the one exploiting. Now, if our government do not care about the lives of the people, they render these services to the multinationals. How, if we transition to renewable energy, what is going to happen to the governance structure? Who is going to take it up? Because the renewable energy sector is still dominated by the Western allies, by the multinational companies. They do not want to transfer resources. They do not want to transfer technology. We are told to transition. They don't want to transfer technology. We don't have the resources. So my question is, how do we transition when we do not even have the autonomy to the first resource we have, which is our oil, when we do not even have the benefit? Where is the benefit from the renewable energy that we're going to transition to? Who is going to control it? Who controls it now? Thank you.
Thank you, Magdalene. Prof, the question on governance, and I think it's a key question as well because our policy framework, I believe, really support investors that are outside of the continent. It's mostly difficult to get indigenous persons get involved in this investment for renewable energy. And thank you for stressing that, Magdalena. I believe Prof has answers to those questions. Yes, 3. Please use the mic on. Yes, yes. Yes.
Ok, permettez-moi d'aller en français. Je suis Bombem Nabara Denise du Togo. Ma question est la suivante. Dans la présentation, monsieur nous a parlé des types de protocoles à suivre pour pouvoir remédier à notre souci. Mais je me rends compte que les outils nécessaires sont toujours importés et nos pays n'ont pas l'accès facile d'avoir ces outils. Est-ce qu'il n'y a pas des dispositifs que nous pourrons, qui sont adaptés à nos conditions ou à nos conditions locales ou les villageois, ou bien nous pourrons faire pour que l'accès de nos agriculteurs sur le terrain peuvent avoir l'accès facile pour pouvoir utiliser? Ça, c'est ma première question. Ma deuxième question, c'est de repenser pour la question de l'énergie fossile. Parce que si nous notons le nombre de l'énergie fossile installée, des usines de transformation fossile qui existent au monde, il y a, je peux dire, je ne connais pas le nombre exact, je pense que c'est 3, mais je ne sais pas si ça atteint 5. Mais si je me demande si les pays d'Afrique décident de se mettre ensemble pour pouvoir mettre en place l'usine pour pouvoir produire l'énergie fossile, parce que la matière de base, c'est en Afrique. Et ceux qui en produisent, ils reviennent puiser la matière de base en Afrique pour pouvoir alimenter leurs usines. Pourquoi ne pas installer ça en Afrique pour profiter au continent africain? Merci.
Thank you. I believe that Prof got those questions. In the interest of time, I'm just going to take 2 more, and because we've had the questions concentrated at the front, I'm just going to go to the back. Just 2 questions. I'm sorry, we would catch Prof during tea break. So the guy at the back, extreme end, and then we've had ladies as well. Okay, just the 2 of you, yes, please, shoot. 1 minute, no need to explain your question, just go straight to the point.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Ora Lens Agbo from the southwest region of Cameroon. So, Prof, thank you very much once more. I have 2 questions for you.
Shoot.
It is estimated that by 2050, the world population will increase to 9.7 billion, and Africa is going to have a population of 2.5 billion, which brings us to a lot of issues related to climate change and also renewable energy. In the case of Africa, the distribution of renewable energy, West Africa has a percentage of 46%, dominated by Ghana, second by Southern Africa, and the least with 27% from Central Africa. Based on your presentation, a lot of research innovation from your laboratory, which is based in Cameroon, in the Central African sub-region. So I want to find out first how youths can get involved without maybe maybe taking a program within your department in your research field. The second question is on climate smart agriculture. There are a lot of innovations which have been put forward to ensure that smart agriculture maybe achieves sustainability. Which one of them is climate smart agriculture for investment plans by the World Bank, and the African Development Bank increased the budget to 61 billion. So I want to find out how youths in Africa can have access to such fundings in order to ensure maybe sustainability in climate smart agriculture.
Thank you. So the last guy, the guy on black, yes. Yes. Please, straight to the point, no need to explain your question. 1 minute.
Thank you so much, Prof, for the presentation. My question is about industrial symbiosis, which is a concept of making use of existing resources without without tapping into new ones. So my question is, how does this aid, or how can it aid the idea of green entrepreneurship? Thank you.
Thank you. Prof, over to you. You might want to use the podium as well. Yes.
Okay. thank you very much for your questions. I hope I took them down very well, and I'm just going to see if I can have something to say concerning some of the issues that you have raised. There was an issue of prototypes and whether they can be upscaled and the way forward. Now, I want to say that I'm an agricultural engineer. In French, it is called génie rural. That is rural engineer. In French, it describes very, very well what I am. We work in the rural world. And in the rural world, you solve problems. You don't even care what happens in the cities. And sometimes we have had more comfortable life in the villages than in the cities. You saw one of the slides I showed there of a wind turbine, which I built and installed in my house. I had one in the ranch that was 10 kilometers from the city center. Now, before I installed that wind turbine, people used to move from that village, around that village, trek to the city center to charge their cell phones, trek to the city center just to have a haircut. But when we did that in the farm, people were now coming to the farm to use that electricity. That's to show that what do you need in prototyping? It is already working. That's a small unit that is working, no pollution whatsoever. So it is possible. The problem is that the geopolitics, the energy geopolitics in the world is a very dangerous terrain. It is not that people don't know these things. People know it and they know that they work and they are better. But you have more power if you can control oil wells. You have more power if people depend on you. I mean, the movement of merchant ships all over the world to go and deliver oil. There's no merchant ship that is moving to come and supply solar energy, or that is coming to supply biogas. So people, it is possible, those prototypes are working for the small setups that we have. And we can have very comfortable life in the village without admiring anything in the city center. And from there, development can even start coming. Somebody talked about storage and lithium batteries and so on. Unfortunately, that is still a major problem in solar energy, where some people even argue that storage of electricity, sometimes in the long run, solar might be a bit polluting. But if you take that, solar panels will stay for at least 25 years before they age. And batteries will stay for around 8-9 years before they, and then you can look that in 9 years you are not polluting, and in 25 years you are not polluting. I think solar is still something to talk about. And then also look at lithium supply. Some of the lithium is coming from Africa, Democratic Republic of Congo, and some of these things. We just need to come together to see how we can manage some of these resources. So solar still has its own place. Somebody asked, unfortunately I did not write down the names, how do we transition? How to move how do we transition? Now, transitioning, as I've shown again, it is working in the village. So I don't even know what you mean by transition. The point is that people coming from Europe and who are looking for investments are not interested in this type of things we are talking about. You are talking of putting a small wind turbine in your house and running electricity from. What does that concern a British man who is a multi-million-dollar and wants to be shipping a lot of copper cables and generators and things to? So the solution can only come from you. We are the one to take the decision. Now, I visited a plant in Burkina Faso. I've forgotten where that plant is, the village is located. Now, a small village is powered by electricity from Jatropha. Why is there something like that that is working and we have not bothered to improve on it? That is what we should look at. The problem is us. Bon, la dame a parlé de l'importation des matériaux de base, n'est-ce pas? Parmi tout ce que je vous ai montré, les distillateurs solaires, les cuisiniers solaires, les éoliennes, il n'y a que les fils en cuivre que nous avons importés et peut-être les aimants permanents. C'est à vous aussi de chercher pourquoi toujours importer de la Chine. Pourquoi ne pas fabriquer ça sur place? Nous avons le cuivre, n'est-ce pas? N'est-ce pas, le cuivre quitte la République démocratique du Congo pour aller en Chine? Nous ne devons pas faire ça. Donc c'est à nous de penser ce que nous voulons faire. Beaucoup de ces choses que nous importons viennent d'Afrique. Donc c'est à vous de chercher à voir comment on peut conserver ça ici et faire des fabrications au lieu de toujours importer des trucs que nous avons fabriqués. Then the last, no, not the last but the least, somebody talked of climate smart agriculture. I think it's from the Southwest, and youth training and so on. I have said that we as university lecturers, one of the best outreach programs I've ever had in my life, and which is part of our objectives as university, is in this PACJA event, talking to so many African youths from different diverse backgrounds. So we are passing to you the energy, the message, and it is from you to take it up now. For the African Development Bank and some of these things, you have to just look. I don't know how the financing there is taking place. But what we can do is if you can organize some small groups of training, we can train you on how to build some of these things. And perhaps based on your competencies, you can be able to get the funds that that come on. Now, the last person on youth, green, and so on, I don't think I took the question very well. But what I know is that you people should know that there's a lot of geopolitics in energy and war economic and so on. There are so many wars now in the world which could be stopped very easily, but multi-billion-dollar companies have to also survive. They have to sell arms. They have to do this. That's why they can take fighting in between Palestine and Israel and go and discuss it in a 5-star, 6-star hotel in New York for 2 weeks, talking about how you should bomb, but don't bomb too much, do this. Now, so these are some of the things, and you have to remove yourself from that web. If Africa does not come out of that web, we cannot be green. There are countries like Denmark. Denmark sometimes was running on 100% wind energy, 100%. I was in Denmark in the middle of was June, July, and some of the big wind turbines that were installed there that have been monitoring since 2007 were already pulled down. And I asked some people, why did they pull down? They said, no, people complain that they are destroying the view of the atmosphere. They don't want this. So look at what people, because they are threatening their fossil fuel businesses around the world. That is it. So we Africans have to look for our independence and say enough is enough. The solution is here. It is not rushing to Europe or to China to look for solutions. So I'm available. On my presentation, I have my website where some of those things are. You can also meet me on Facebook. And even during coffee break here, we can continue to answer your questions. I want to thank again the PACJA team that I'm so happy because there is no way where I can have this type of audience to extend the knowledge that we have from the lab. Thank you very much.
Yes, we are rounding this session now. There is a 10 seconds comment from the lady, Ms. Chnage. Please.
Thank you very much, Lucky, and thank you very much, Prof, for that very practical presentation. I had a lot of questions and I had a lot of concerns from people saying that communities are not really kind of buying into the innovations. One of the things I want to say, especially from experience, is you cannot sit in a research office or sit wherever you sit and then think of an innovation you think is good for the community and bring it to them and expect them to adopt it. It's not going to work. You know, you have to spend time with these communities to first of all assess their needs. You don't presume that they need these things. You have to get from them that they really need this thing, and then you co-create the whatever solution that you have. That is the only way, because that way they feel a sense of ownership. That way they feel that they are part of the governance structure, and that is only how they are going to also adopt it. I know when we were designing clean cooking technologies for some rural communities in Nigeria, we spent years in these rural communities trying to find out what kind of cooking technology that will work for them. You know, because of the kind of food that they cook. And that was the only way we were able to get clean cooking technologies that they were able to adopt, and they are still using, they are also propagating it. You know, so I just want to bring that idea to us. We have to go to them and co-create it with them, and then also learn from them. We're talking about indigenous knowledge. Let it not be just something that we speak as part of English. We really need to practically go to harness their indigenous knowledge with them and then co-create the solutions with them. That way, we will be able to get the adoption that we need faster. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a strong recommendation, and Prof has said he would be available as we have tea break. So we're going to have a 15-minute tea break because we are largely behind time. So if you have any further questions that have not been responded to, Prof would be with you outside. Please, we will be strict with time now, 15 minutes, and we should be back in the hall to continue with the rest of the sessions. Thank you very much. Thank you, Prof.
Sometimes you even travel from here to Japan, travel
Yes, please. We are going to be strict with time. 15 minutes is going to be 15 minutes. If you are ready for tea break, I think we're ready, and so we'll be back. Thank you.
cities you are watching from, and welcome to. For those of you who have been following, if you remember last time we received Mr. Fongwa here on our platform and he was talking about renewable energy and its winning advantages in our society today. And while talking, he mentioned something which was very important, the 630 campaign, which has been recently launched in Addis Ababa. So we called him back here to talk more about the 630 campaign. So today we are going to be delving deep into the 630 campaign. Mr. Fongwa needs no introduction as he is the Director of Programs at the African Coalition for Sustainable Energy and Access and is the lead Just Transition at the Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance. Mr. Fongwa, welcome back to our podcast and we are glad to receive you here again today.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here and to discuss such an important topic.
You're welcome. So last time while talking, you mentioned the 630 campaign, and I'm sure not just myself, but most of the viewers are wondering, what is the 630 campaign?
Thank you so much. The 630 campaign is, as the name implies, a campaign that we recently launched, and it's a campaign to access on the continent. We are hoping that
That's a huge amount.